Philkotse ba? Philkotse na!
Rolling na. Okay. Whew, tara. Alam niyo ba, back in 2018, Nissan Philippines actually invited us and a handful of other media personnel to try out an all-new vehicle. Meaning, bagong-bago sa lineup nila. Kasi alam niyo naman, for the longest time, walang midsize SUV ang Nissan. Or at least walang Navara-based na SUV. Fast forward to today, we now have the facelifted version of the Nissan Terra. And coincidentally, we also have the rival over there, waiting for us to compare it side by side. Pero, more on that later. Disclaimer lang Nissan Philippines actually invited us to test this car without any prior information about it, meaning walang price tag, and most importantly, walang spec sheet. So, we'll do this blindly, and if merong mga mali sa mga specs namin, I'm sure mapapatawad nyo na kami doon, di ba? Tara! Okay, so what is exactly new with the Terra? Up front, obviously, sobrang laki ng difference nung sa grille kasi mas malaki siya. I mean, in terms of size, mas malaki siya kaysa dun sa outgoing na Terra. And di na masyadong halata yung ilalim ng V na motion grille na makikita mo sa mga Nissan ngayon. Now, another na nabago is, when it comes to the headlamps, nabago na rin yung LED DRLs niya. Sa outgoing kasi, medyo para siyang fishhook yung design. Well, medyo fishhook pa rin, pero hindi nakamukha ng dati. And nagkaroon ng parang break dito na dagdag style points lang din. But, ang pinaka-notable na nabago sa headlights is itong quad beam LED projectors. Hindi ko alam yung exact na naming nila because walang spec sheet, but that's how I see it. And ang kamukha niya is yung nasa Navara. So if napanood nyo yung video ni Cesar nung nagpunta sa Ilocos, alam nyo yung sinasabi ko na quad beam LEDs. Now, another thing na nabago is yung bumper. Obviously, medyo naging kwadrado na yung part na to. Kasi dati parang normie lang na fog lights nandito. This time, it's LED, medyo kwadrado, nagkaroon ng chrome accent. And para sa akin, the whole fascia, it actually looks like a patrol. Para siyang baby patrol or patrol na teenager bago naging tito. So yeah, that's how I see it. Now, in comparison to the Fortuner na dala namin, na nakita nyo naman kanina, para sa akin, the Terra is more classy or classier looking than the Fortuner. Kasi yung Fortuner is more of sporty, lalo na yung LTD na ang daming mga blacked out na accent. Sa Terra, chromed out talaga siya. So, depende na yun sa'yo kung anong mas trip mo sa itsura. But if you're asking me, I'd go for the Fortuner because of the sportier looks. Now, sa engine. Whew. Bigat, man! Nissan Philippines, please, pakilipat doon. Anyway, since wala kaming spec sheet, ang masasabi ko sa engine is based dun sa nakakabit sa Navara. And, well, sigurado naman ako, this is a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine na nasa Navara din, which puts out 187 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. Now, that is connected to a 7-speed torque converter automatic transmission. And when it comes to fuel economy, sa city, I got around 8 to 11 kilometers per liter. City traffic yun, depende sa traffic if matipid ka or hindi. Now, for the highway drive, kanina we got around 15 kilometers per liter at a highway speed of 90 kilometers per hour. Now, in comparison to the Fortuner LTD 4x4 na powered by a 2.8 liter diesel engine, syempre, mas malakas yung sa Fortuner. By konti lang naman, nasa 200 plus yun and 500 Nm of torque. But when it comes to the drive, i-discuss natin yan mamaya. Okay, sa gulong naman tayo. The new Terra has a set of 18-inch wheels na wrapped in dualer all-terrain tires. It's actually the same nung nasa Fortuner. Actually, same size, same tires. And most importantly, pareho silang may disc brakes on all 4 wheels. Which is, at this day and age and at this price point, medyo essential na yan eh. So expect mo na yan. And good job on both brands for doing so. Now, what's new with the Terra? The Terra has, yung spokes niya is now larger, or mas konti na siya compared dun sa outgoing model. Kasi yung dati mas konti yung spokes ng wheels. And ngayon, mukha pa rin siyang electric fan, pero sa akin mas gusto ko to kumpara dati. But, as always, it's up to you. Now, sa sides, wala masyadong pinagbago. Yung itsura, yung hulma, nung bagong Terra. Dami nating fans ah. Thank you. Kung wala kayo, wala kami. Wala masyadong pinagbago yung itsura, yung hulma, nung bagong Terra kumpara sa outgoing version. Except for 3 things. Well, number 1, yung gulong nga, sabi ko kanina. Number 2, you have this extended wrap around headlights dun sa bago, na sa dati parang nandito lang yun eh. Dito medyo extend pa lang konti, and kita mo na may silip na nung DRLs. Now, another part of that is, sa likod naman, yung taillights, iba na rin yung shape nitong wrap around the taillights, na nag-iba na rin yung graphics. For specifics, you still have the roof rails for VL, and you have the power folding side mirrors na may turn signal na rin. Now, for comparison, the Terra has halogen turn signals, and sa harap, likod, or gilid, lahat yan halogen. In comparison sa Fortuner na LTD, you already have LEDs na sa harap at likod, sequential na. So, there's that. Sa likod, pinakabago makikita nyo is, of course, the taillights. Yung dati, ni-reflect nyo yung parang fish hook design. This time, ibang-iba na siya. Pero number 1 na napansin ko talaga is, with the new design, is medyo kahawig niya or mas malaking version lang siya yung nandun sa Fortuner.
Fortuner?
Para sa mali. Fortuner.
Sorry.
Okay, for other new things, the Terra has the chrome bar here. Dati yung chrome strip na yun nandito, kahilera nung taillights. But this time, inangat nila na parang with the new shape. Of course, para alam nyo na bago yan, di ba? And then, of course, you still have your cameras and all your sensors. And this rear view camera na nasa rear view mirror mo. Makikita natin yan mamaya. But then again, pinaka nag-stick out sa akin na para siyang pimple is this, the huge badge na nasa tailgate. Medyo malaki siya eh. Pero kayo bahala. You can say your comments sa comment section. But for me, parang mas maganda sana siya kung mas maliit ng konti. Or at least tanggalin nyo na yung 4x4 para mas malinis siya ng tingnan ng konti. For the trunk, manual tailgate. Now, this is familiar. This is actually the same lang nung dun sa outgoing na Terra. And that's not exactly a bad thing. Because you have 12-volt sockets here. And yung mga pantali ka rin, talian ka rin ng mga gamit if kailangan. Now, this one is actually removable if kailangan mo ng extra space. Oops. Bagong-bago, no? Nandito pa yung mga plastics. But if you need a flat cargo space and di mo kailangan yung third row, yun ang purpose niya. Kaya siya may elevated na floor. Got it? Again, I don't have the exact numbers. Wala kaming spec sheet. Sorry. Okay, sa loob. What's good about facelifts or refresh is laging ina-address ng mga manufacturers yung pain points nung mga firstborn. Meaning, kino-correct nila yung mali or binabago, ina-upgrade yung mga bagay na inaayawan ng mga tao. And that's what exactly happened sa Terra. Kasi as you know, pain point talaga ng Terra is the interior. Medyo plasticky daw. Well, I agree. And but this time around, Nissan actually put in some good stuff in here. Like, yeah, you still have hard plastics in here, but this one is leather, synthetic leather, but still leather. Actually, this one surprised me kasi it's red. I never expected red from a Terra, maybe brown or yeah, brown. But this one, this is red, which adds a bit of sporty feel sa loob. Now, another thing is, binago na nila yung layout ng dashboard. Dati is kumukha nung nasa Navara na luma na parang pa-V. This time, iba na. As in, ibang layout. You have a bigger infotainment, 9 inches. And maganda pa doon, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto siya. Now, going back to the center, yung steering wheel mo is now kamukha na rin nung nasa Navara. Hindi na sa Pro 4X kasi sa Pro 4X, black badge, may red accents. But this is more of the Navara VL. And incidentally, this is a Terra VL. So, yeah, maganda siya. Maganda yung material. Although, medyo maliit siya and all. But then again, it's okay. At least it's flat bottom para sa mga katulad ko matataba ang hita. And tilt adjustable naman siya. Hindi nga lang telescopic. Yeah, that's one thing na sana baguhin ng Nissan. Siyempre, mas madali yung mag-adjust. And for the instrument cluster, this is another huge improvement from before. Meron ka na ngayon sobrang graphic na display sa gitna na sa akin ang ganda nung graphics. And actually, when you, pakita natin when you start up the car, meron siyang display ng Terra na ang ganda. Now, wala lang siyang paddle shifters for the steering wheel, but you have cruise control na regular. As opposed to na nandun sa Fortuner. Kasi sa Fortuner, you have, sa LTD, you have adaptive cruise control, Toyota Safety Sense, na medyo mas high-tech. But this time, sa Terra, it's just a normal cruise control. But, magkaiba yung presyo nila. And I think sigurado ko mas mahal yung Fortuner LTD kumpara mo dito sa Terra VL. So, there's that. Now, dito sa gitna, again, infotainment, bigger. You have the start-stop. And then your climate control is cleaner than before. And you have actual knobs na maganda yung feedback. Kaya nyo kaya si Martin. Yan. Sana naririnig, di ba? And, yeah, climate control yan, hindi yung weather control. Okay, dito tayo ngayon sa usual segment na nasa ng smartphone mo. Wait. Look at my wallpaper, it's the Nissan Z. Damn, ganda. May review rin natin yan. Going back, dahil nga wireless Apple CarPlay na siya, pinartneran na siya ng Nissan ng wireless charger, which is good, which is panalo yun. Kasi, syempre, magandang combination yun, di ba? So, goodbye cordon and, yeah, mas malinis sa cabin. Pero, napansin ko lang is, sa gitna, you have the gear lever and then the other buttons, kasama yung rear differential lock and your 4-wheel drive here. Napansin ko lang is, medyo, ito lang yung pinaka-pain point Malaki talaga yung piano black plastic sa gitna. Yeah, ingat-ingat na lang, lalo na yung mga mahahaba ang kuko, katulad ko ngayon. But anyway, going back again, dito naman tayo sa cup holders. You have massive bottle holder sa pinto. As in, it's really massive itong bote ko na malaki. Kasya, alog-alog. And pati dito sa gitna, kita nyo naman, ang laki pa ng space. Now, sa seats, this is another Nissan thing, the zero gravity seats. Now, the Terra has that. And mabibigyan niyan sa'yo is, well, zero gravity. So, para kang nakalutang. Sabi nila it was developed with NASA. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's the thing. And the aim is to give you utmost comfort while driving. And kita naman siya, nung nag-drive ako, mahaba-haba yung drive namin, papunta sa location na to, comfortable siya. And madaling hanapin yung position mo, even without a telescopic adjustment, because you have electronic adjustment sa upuan. Diba? So, pindot-pindot na lang. Parang chill lang. Now, this is a Terra signature. You have the 360-degree camera. Sabi ko nga, Terra signature kasi back in 2018, Nissan was the first to introduce the 360-degree camera or around view monitor sa Pilipinas. So, parang sabihin natin pioneer na sila sa Pilipinas. And, syempre, nandun pa rin yan sa Terra. Now, nagamit namin yan before for off-roading, for parking, and for every practical uses. And ang masasabi ko is, this is one heaven-sent feature. Lalo na sa gabi, kasi kahit sa gabi, meron siyang night mode. At least yung nasa Navara meron, pero I guess meron na rin dito sa VL. But since wala kaming spec sheet, di namin alam. And nga pala, the Fortuner also has that. So, there's that. Now for another Terra signature. You have, well, it's a normal-looking rear view mirror. But, if you flick it, magkakaroon siya ng display. I mean, i-view niya. May camera dun sa likod kanina, di ba? Sorry. May camera sa likod kayo na. Ito yun. So you have a panoramic view of the rear using that camera. Well, comment ko lang is hindi ganun kaganda yung resolution, but at night, it is usable. Now, if we are to find any fault with the Terra, I guess one thing na sana binago ng Nissan is itong grab handle. Kasi nandito siya instead of the usual na nandito, kamukha na nasa passenger. Kasi when you're entering the car, usually dito ka mahawak eh, hindi dito. Lalo na with a car that as tall as this one. Now, sa likod. So, this is my usual driving position and this is the second row maxed out. And syempre, as expected, malaking legroom mo and headroom is fairly okay for someone like me standing at 5'6". For taller people, well, I recommend you to at least check it sa showroom kung kasya kayo. Now you have armrest here na may cup holders. Kasya naman tong malaking bote. Kinda. And you have bottle holders. Now the design of the seats is the same lang na sa harap. The design is actually intricate and yeah, it's a good looking seat. Hindi naman masakit sa puwet yung yung design. Now, you also have USB ports. Incidentally, dalawa na siya. Na one is the usual USB and then the other one is a USB-C. Then you also have your rear air vents here and sa bubong. Kamukha nung nasa Fortuner, almost same lang yung amenities niya. Pati yung red accents din pala, halos kampareho nung nasa Fortuner. Nga pala, this one, wala to sa Fortuner for some reason. And yeah, it's a good thing Terra has this kasi nga mataas, so mas madaling makakasakay. Lalo na yung mga masakit ang tuhod, nakamukha ako pag may gout. Now another thing na mapapansin mo sa Terra is comfortable ka. You have a massive, no, not massive, it's actually a screen na nandito sa taas. Konti lang yung midsize SUV na merong second row monitor na kamukha nung sa Terra. I think the MUX, at least the old one, has that. But this time, this is available with the outgoing Terra. Now, nandito pa rin siya. I'm just not sure if the resolution is, kasi yung dati medyo pangit talaga yung resolution. Hindi ko lang alam ngayon. Well, we have the remote, but we're not sure how to open yung lagay niya ng battery, so we don't have any way to open this monitor. Ang kasama niyan is yung HDMI port mo ay nandun sa likod. So if you have a laptop, gusto mong i-view siya dito, mag-Netflix kayo nung, let's say may kasama kang bata na makulit, gusto niya manood ng Cocomelon, di ba? So yun, Netflix kayo, kabit mo sa HDMI, then solve, di ba? And maganda pa dun, you'll be listening via a Bose sound system na totoo namang ang ganda ng tunog. It's kind of heavenly actually. And kumbaga, it's Bose versus JBL because the Fortuner has the JBL and this one has Bose. Kaya na mamili ano mas magandang tunog para sa inyo. But I have JBL sa bahay. Yeah. Nga pala, the rear, the second row seats actually is for 3 people. But, syempre, as always, mas comfortable kung dalawa lang, magagamit nyo to. But if you have to add one person here, medyo relegated siya sa lap belt. Just kind of a pain point actually. Then again, it's okay. As for the third row seats, magic, no? Hindi, may tao sa harap. And in Nissan Terra fashion, meron pa rin siyang magic button dun sa harap to tumble down the second row seats. And pwede mo rin siyang gawing manually. Pwede mo pa rin siyang gawing manually if walang tao sa harap. Cool, di ba? Okay, sakay tayo. Okay, this is another pain point for the Nissan Terra kasi as usual for mid-size SUVs, the third row is always usable. I guess it's livable. May ano ka naman, may aircon vents ka naman and all. But well, knee room is not for adults. If, and that's a big if, yung nasa second row is sugapa. Actually, pwede mo naman to iusad eh. Di ba? Diyan mo. Oh, and that's the maximum you can do it. Sagad tong recline and all, but pwede pa rin siya iusad if sutakad yung nakasakay. And kahit pa paano, in one way or another, adjust na lang kayo to find your suitable position, especially for long drives. Then again, I won't lie, this part, the foot room, this is not for long drives. I mean, an hour or two with this position, nah, stop over muna tayo. For kids, well, sakto to kasi nandyan yung monitor nyo. Coco Melon! For safety features, kung mga walang binigay na spec sheet ng Nissan, ito mga napansin namin nakasama si Nissan Terra. Meron siyang 6 airbags, stability control, traction control, ISOFIX child seat tethers, seatbelt reminder, lane departure warning, blind spot detection, tire pressure monitor, rain sensing wipers, parking sensors, nakita niyo naman kanina, 360-degree camera, hill start assist, and hill descent control. Okay, we're about to drive the Nissan Terra, the facelifted version. But before we do that, gusto ko lang pansinin na ang ganda ng sound insulation from the inside because I can barely hear the engine and walang bukas na audio. I mean, walang music and yeah, that's commendable. But yeah, let's drive. The Terra, first na mapapansin mo is as always, I mean, as with the usual diesel engines, malakas yung hatak niya. And abrupt naman yung acceleration, hindi mo naman kailangan na apakan ng mabigat para mag-respond yung makina. And ang number one na maganda sa Terra talaga is yung steering mo. Hindi siya ganun kabigat, but it already provides you the right amount of feedback when you're driving. And kailangan mo yun, especially if you're driving a heavy SUV na mataas from the ground. So yeah, you'll appreciate the ground feedback and yeah, para saan maganda siya. Now for driving visibility, ang ganda ng vista with the Terra actually. Mababa pa yung driving position ko. It's not the usual na mataas. And hindi naman natatakpan ng A-pillar yung kanto. And maganda nga with the Terra, you have a 360-degree camera na kita mo yung corners na usually sinasabitan talaga yan pag malaki yung auto. And that's a good thing. At speeds, medyo maririnig nyo na yung makina. And that's expected naman with a diesel engine. But the good thing about it is that with the Terra, and this is another Terra signature, is that it has a multi-link suspension sa likod. Which is something na ipagpapasalamat mo because unlike other SUVs like the Fortuner, case in point, this one has better ride or mas maganda yung ride comfort niya kasi dips or we call it dips and dives when you're braking and when you're accelerating, sobrang minimized siya with the Terra. And maganda pa doon, well, expected din naman yung mga body roll when you're tackling twisties. Minimized pa rin siya with the Terra. It's not bad, it's just as expected from a ladder frame SUV. Ang pintas ko lang talaga with the Terra is that, well, at least for this media tester, medyo mahina yung brakes or medyo kailangan mo talaga siya apakan ng matindi just to give you a good bite sa brakes mo. Which is kind of weird considering na medyo malaki-laki na yung disc brakes na nakita natin kanina sa gulong, di ba? But then again, with some adjustment siguro, magagamot naman yan. Now for the transmission, you have a 7-speed na automatic na torque converter. And okay naman yung shifting niya. Hindi mo siya nararamdaman actually. Wala siyang shift shock or whatever. But the thing is, if you have to do it manually, you have to do it via the lever kasi wala kang paddle shifters. But that's okay. Normal naman yun. It's just that siguro when it comes to twisties na you have to concentrate on the steering wheel, medyo sana nandito yung shifting. But adjustments lang. Now this Terra, the VL 4x4, well, as the name suggests, meron siyang part-time 4x4 system na nandito. You can actually shift this on the fly. You can go to 4 high or high 4 para, let's say, saan mo gagamitin yun? Well, the high 4, you can use that sa mga twisties. Let's say umuulan, you need better traction para safe yung drive mo. And magagamit mo rin siya sa light off-road na just wanna be secure with your traction. Of course, as a 4x4, meron siyang low mode, which is, it's basically for crawling sa mga off-road na mga, if you wanna go off-roading with a mid-size SUV, yeah, you can do that here. But the thing is, you have to slow down and shift it to low 4. Hindi lang namin nagawa with this media unit kasi, well, medyo nahihiya ako eh. Kasi 140 kilometers pa lang siya on the clock. So, yeah, wag muna. But, if you want to see some off-road action with this vehicle and I guess iba pang SUVs, comment nyo yung request nyo sa comment section below. Okay, so we now have driven the Terra. We have seen all the new things about it. Question remains, magkano and paano yung availability? Well, sabi ko nga kanina, wala kaming information about it. But as you watch this video, I'm sure nasa description na yung prices and yung availability ng SUV sa mga dealerships.
Wait a minute!
Now, ang masasabi ko lang is, Nissan is already at the 5th place when it comes to sales sa Pilipinas, just behind Ford and Suzuki. Now, sa pagdating ng Nissan Terra, I'm pretty sure magiging mas tight yung competition going for the 3rd place. And yeah, this car will do some magic for Nissan Philippines until the end of the year. Again, my name is Jacob Oliva, the content manager of Philkotse.com. See you soon.
Thanks for watching. For the latest news, reviews, and anything you want to know about cars and car ownership, visit Philkotse.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify para hindi ka huli sa usapan. Tandaan, kotse ba? Philkotse na!